And so here we are, review number 500. It's been a long journey, 12 years in the making. But I've had fun doing all these reviews, playing the games, writing the review itself, even doing what passes as editing. It's a fun hobby. But most of all, I enjoy sharing the games with you, the viewer. And it's you who I must thank. For you're the ones that have been giving me all this support over the years. Keep the comments coming. I really do try to read everything you guys send, even if I don't comment back. Thank you so much once again. And here's to another 500 reviews. Now, let's get on with the actual review. I'm sure everyone was wondering what I was going to do for my 500th review. To me, it was a no-brainer. Super Mario Bros. 3 was the first video game I've ever played. So that's why I absolutely needed to review it for this special occasion. Let's talk briefly about the Mario series in general and its influence over my gaming life. I may not be the biggest Mario fan in the world, but I have enjoyed many of the games in the series. So let's go through a bit of history of my gaming experiences over my lifetime. As I've said previously, Mario 3 was the very first video game I've ever played. My dad had taken me to one of his friends' houses so he could probably get drunk, as was normal, and their son had an NES, which, coincidentally, was the very first time I had played the iconic console. I was only about 5 or 6, and being that I never really played video games before, I believed it when one of the kid's friends handed me a controller and told me that I could control the Goombas while someone else played Mario. Even back then, I didn't entirely believe I was making much of a difference, but still, the idea enthralled me. The experience definitely got better when they gave me a turn at playing Mario in this solid platformer. We also played the original Mario a little bit. In fact, Mario 1 was the game that I was playing when my dad came into the living room and asked what I wanted for my birthday. A Nintendo Entertainment System or a bike? Of course, I asked for the Nintendo, and that's what I got. I still have it to this day, box and all, with the little Linko sticker on top with the price my mom paid for it. I plan on doing another full-on video in the future on the NES and what it means to me, but that's for another day. And yes, I did get a bike that summer too. And yes, I totally skinned my knees really badly going down the driveway that same day. Anyway, back to Mario. I didn't get Mario 3 right when I got my NES. The NES came with a combo card of NES World Cup Soccer and Super Spike Volleyball. It would be a few months before I got Mario 3, but man, let me tell you, when I did finally get it, I played it like crazy with my brothers. We spent hours looking in every corner, trying to track down every secret area that we heard on the playground that day. The internet wasn't a thing in my household at that time, so it's not like I could validate every secret area that was rumored to exist. Mario 3 was released at the tail end of 1988, which, if you look at it now, makes it even more impressive considering that it looked and played amazingly even compared to games that came out near the end of the system's life in 1993. If you haven't ever played a Mario game, then you probably aren't a serious gamer. But I'll sum up how it works anyway. Playing as the Italian plumber, Mario goes through 8 worlds with varying amounts of stages each, attempting to simply reach the end of the level. The main way to defeat your enemies is to jump on them, but not every threat can be defeated in this way. To overcome this, there are a multitude of extra power-ups that can be located in order to make survival happen. Fire flowers do the same thing as in the original game, as in, they allow Mario to fling bouncing fireballs that, for some reason as a kid, I always thought looked like garlic. Yeah, I can't understand why I thought so either. Mushrooms also carry over, in that they make regular Mario Super Mario. In fact, you typically will need to find a mushroom before any other power-up will appear. Probably should have mentioned this one first, but yeah well. But although the Fire Flower and Mushroom weren't really the only things that you would find to make Mario more powerful in his original outing, other than maybe the Starman, there are plenty of new items that you can find here, each with their own benefits. Next to the Fire Flower, the most common item is the Raccoon Leaf. Not only does this allow Mario to whip his tail to defeat enemies, but he can now fly for short periods of time. This ability allows him to reach new areas and secrets, often resulting in extra lives, coins, or maybe even hidden ends of stages. But of course, this isn't all. The frog suit allows Mario to swim with ease, although the main drawback is that land-based movement isn't smooth, being a frog and all. But even so, there are a few levels in which the frog suit makes it a breeze to get through. The Tanuki suit is a souped-up version of the raccoon leaf. Same benefits, just adding the ability to turn Mario into a statue for a short time, which allows any enemies to walk right on past without Mario taking the damage. And although it's fairly rare and only shows up half a dozen times at most, you also have the hammer suit. The thing is awesome. It makes you really play carefully so that you can keep it for as long as possible. Turning Mario into a hammer brother really turns the tides. There are other items to find as well. The aforementioned Starman makes Mario invulnerable for a few seconds. The P-Wing lets Mario run through a stage with a power bar that remains full, allowing him to literally fly through the entire level. Once the area is completed, it just turns into a normal raccoon tail. A hammer can be found to break certain rocks in the world map, allowing you to find shortcuts past tricky stages or hidden areas with powerful items. A cloud can be found to skip a level. Music boxes put Hammer Brothers to sleep for 2 rounds, allowing you to bypass them. In addition to the standard 2D platforming, Mario traverses a world map, which is used to choose which challenge to access next. It is here where you can find a few mini-games and Toad Houses, among other things. In the Toad House, Toad will let you choose a treasure chest and keep the item inside. In the mini-games, you can earn extra lives in a slot machine-style game or hoardable items in a match game. These items that are rewarded are kept in an inventory that can be accessed with the press of a button on the map. Mario can keep stock of 28 items, and can use them whenever you need the extra boost. If you find a 29th item, it will override the last item you found, which could be troublesome as late game Toad Houses tend to reward you with Hammer, Frog, and Tanuki suits, and losing those might make you groan a little bit. Of course, not every item will be encountered in these minigames. Many of them will be found in stages, which will then immediately apply them to our hero. This brings up a very nice change from the original Mario game. In Mario 1, if you got hit, regardless of whether you had Super Mario or Fire Mario, you get reverted back to regular Plumber Mario. But in Mario 3, taking a hit takes away the power-up you had, essentially giving you 1 extra health point. Let's say that you had Raccoon Mario, and you get bitten by a Chain Chomp. Instead of reverting to Plumber Mario, you instead get downgraded to Super Mario. This ultimately allows you to essentially have 3 hit points instead of just 2. Of course, falling into lava or a pit, getting crushed, or running out of time will result in immediate death, regardless on how powered up you are. Because of the amount of coins, extra lives, and power-ups that you will encounter, Mario 3 is considerably easier than its predecessor. And for the record, I'm not comparing Mario 3 to Mario 2, because it's a completely different style of game. Anywho, not only are there normal extra lives and the coins, but when you reach the end of the stage, you finish it by grabbing a card that is cycling in a box. 3 cards result in at least 1 extra life, but if you can manage to get 3 of the same item, the lives gained increase. Mushrooms get you a 2-up, flowers a 3-up, and stars, which is actually the easiest to do, are 5 extra lives added to your pool. The trick to this is to start running at top speed as soon as you see the black jagged edge of the end of the level, and then jump directly into the box at full speed. 9 times out of 10, you'll get that star. What makes progressing in the game even more rewarding is that every world has a different theme. The first area is a nice romp through green fields, but then we move into a desert, water world, everyone's favorite giant land, sky zone, ice empire, pipe mazes, and finally, Bowser's Castle. Each world has a distinct look and feel, with unique enemies and hazards to overcome. The end of each world culminates in an airship battle, in which Mario leaps onto the flying beast and fights one of Bowser's 7 kids. Although some are unique, a few of them do recycle attack patterns, so there is that. At least all of them look different though. And wait, if Bowser already has 7 kids, why is he always after the princess? Makes you think a little bit, doesn't it? And yes, I'm aware of all the conspiracy theories that surround this. Even when you complete the game and think that you've seen everything, well, you're probably still missing something. Have you found all 3 of the warp whistles? All of the coin heaven areas located by leaping into hidden note blocks? Have you encountered the fabled coin ship? What about the mysterious white toad houses? The white mushroom house and coin ship seem to appear completely at random, when you first encounter them, but thanks to guides, you can now get to them somewhat easily if you know where to look, of course. I'll give you a few hints because I'm such a nice guy. Collect a certain amount of coins on specific levels to unlock the White Toad House. As for the coin ship, collect the number of coins that is a multiple of 11, get a score so that the tens digit is that same number, and hit the gold card when you have an even amount of time left. I don't know how I was supposed to know this as a kid, but it wasn't until I got this awesome Super Mario All-Stars Nintendo Player's Guide that I figured this out. Back in my younger days, it was just a coincidence when I found this stuff. But when you do locate it, it feels like you've accomplished something even though you don't know how you did it. I will admit that I have one very small complaint with Mario 3, and that is, there is no password or save system. The entire game must be completed in one sitting. Sure, in modern days you have things like save states or the Mario All-Stars collection, which does have a battery, but I'm talking about the original NES cartridge here. When I was recording the first playthrough for this video, it took me nearly 4 hours, but a lot of that was due to me making stupid mistakes and dying at parts that really shouldn't have caused me any problems. At least the warp whistles can alleviate this if you dare sacrifice collecting easy early power-ups and lives for what might be a slightly more challenging late game. Speaking of late game, the boss fight against Bowser is awesome. First you have to run through his castle, which is no easy feat, with laser shooting statues and lava everywhere. You know you're getting close when you start seeing the trademark fireballs. Then you enter a room and Bowser falls from the sky with upbeat yet dramatic music playing for you. You just lured Bowser into falling onto a few blocks and he'll plummet to his death, opening the room that the princess is locked behind. To this day, it is still just a great feeling to reach this room. Although I really do enjoy all of the other Mario games I've played over the years, Mario 3 holds a special place in my heart. Mario 2 will always be my favorite, just for how different it was, but Mario 3 is probably a very close second, with Super Mario World and SNES coming in third. A lot of people make the claim that it's the best game of the console, or maybe even the best video game of all time. I don't know if I can get behind those claims 100%, but they definitely have some merit. Mario 3 remains one of the best video games I've ever played. If you are a video gamer and have yet to play it, you owe it to yourself to play Super Mario Bros. 3. Final score? 7 out of 7. Thank you for watching. This is Reaper. Happy fragging.